I'm Russ Luca, and I'm a consultant at the Royal United Hospital in Bath, and I am a specialist in obstetrics and gynecology. BSO provides training for candidates before they go into placement overseas in many areas, how to accommodate to working in unfamiliar surroundings, how to train individuals while you're there, theory in how development and providing services work. Sharing skills, changing lives is their motto, and it really does work in spreading good practice and empowering developing countries to provide great service themselves. Endolagi, which is the hospital we were working in, provided many challenges, not least what you would expect with working in the third world, with lack of resources and patients presenting in a very late stage of their disease. I was responsible for providing training for the hospital and for clinicians in the region to improve the quality of obstetric care. As I arrived, it rapidly became apparent that my services were needed on a purely surgical basis, which was a surprise to me. It was a new part of a role which I hadn't had to do before, and a very steep learning curve. And often I'd be called to perform operations that I wouldn't usually need to be doing, and certainly within my remit as a gynecologist, but very much at an end of a disease, a spectrum that I wouldn't see in the UK. A lot of the problems and circumstances that I was presented with surrounded management and managing the hospital and my own department, something as a registrar I'd never have to deal with at home. And these were skills easily brought back to the NHS. Often when you're working surgically overseas, nothing gets wasted, everything gets recycled. But that's definitely not the case in NHS or even first world theatres. And now it feels wrong to throw things away. Before the arrival of a dedicated obstetrician and gynecologist, the maternity ward was supervised by whichever doctor happened to be available. Maternal mortality was shockingly high. We would expect to lose a mother every couple of weeks, and that really showed in the midwifery staff. Labour ward was a frightening place where patients died. One glorious morning, they had already brought a patient to theatre without a doctor seeing them, recognising an emergency that previously they wouldn't have acted upon. And I was so proud and so fulfilled by that. 2 years after I came home from Africa, I'd finished my training as a gynaecology registrar, which put me onto the job market as a consultant. To be fair, my CV is pretty mundane, but the shining star on my CV is the work that I did overseas. And this gave a lot of opportunity to talk about management skills, developing a service and a programme, protocols in looking after patients. And I think probably that's what got me the job in the first place.